Hello everyone, I'm Lalicia Adam, a software engineering student at Farad University. This is my software engineering orientation assignment. So in this video today we are going to solve together some problems using Java code. So let's get started. As you can see, we started from a very simple demonstration of algorithm. Here we are just printing a string or some characters to the screen. So as you can see, first we created our class and we named it print, P here in capital because class names should be in capital always. Then we created our main method and we started the code. So in Java, when we want to print something to the screen and we want to go to the next line, we use system.out.println. And if it's a string, we just go ahead and put our string inside a quotation mark, and we don't need to forget a semicolon at the end. So here we are going to print hello Java to the screen, and then we are going to create some interesting diamond shaped from stars. So here is how it is going to be out, because I'm using like a correct indentation at the beginning and at the end of the characters so that it aligns the way I want. So this is just a simple, and as easy as you can see, we can just go and print and see the results together. Yeah, as you can see, here is our result. It says hello world as it's written, and then a diamond shape from stars. Okay, let's move to the next, which is area calculation. Here in this code, as you can see, we used import java.util.scanner. This is important when we want to take some input from the user, so we need to import scanner class so that we can create a space that lets us take the input from the user. So we imported this java.util.scanner from library, and then again our class, and we named it area calculation, then the main method. Then here we create a scanner object and named it scan. Then after that we need to ask an input from the user. The user cannot just come and put an input without knowing what to give us. So here in the fifth line, we identified what we want the user to put into the system. So as you can see, I said system.out.print, because I did not say print line here because I don't want it to be in the next line. I just want it to be within the same line that I printed this. So please enter radius of circle. This is what we ask from the user, and then we take the radius that the user entered and store it to a radius variable. Here is how we use it. Scan.nextInt, because here I said integer, we use nextInt here, and then we can just go ahead and calculate our area. Since it is a circle, the area circle is pi r squared. So for a pi, I could have stored pi as a final and then maybe used here to add, but here I just wanted to use maths.pi, which is already there in a Java, and the program can understand what I mean. And here, instead of saying r times r, I used maths.power. Maths.po is used to calculate the power or something raised to some number, so I used radius raised to 2, which is radius square, and then I just go ahead and print my area. Here I said area as a string, I give it area, and then I added this variable, which is our area. So let's go and see together how it works. Here, as you can see, it's please enter radius of a circle. Here you can see that it's asking me to enter a radius of a circle. So let me go ahead and enter 4. Then here it calculated my area, and then here is the result. We can again redo it or This time let me use 6, enter. As you can see, it can calculate my area depending on the number of the radius I put here. Okay, now let's go to the third question, or a problem solved, which we used if condition here. So let's start explaining this. Here also, as you can see, we imported scanner because we want the user to input some number so that we can identify if that number is even or if that number is odd. Then depending on the number, if the number is even, we write the number is even on the screen, and if the number is odd, we write the number is odd on the screen. This is the same, our class, and the name is evals, main method, then a scanner object here, and then this is a line that we ask an input from our user. Here we stored the number that our user entered and stored it as a number. Then if the number divided by 2 and then the remainder is equal to 0, that means that number is even, isn't it? Yeah. And for the next, if the number is divided by 2 but the remainder is not equal to 0, that means it is not even and it is technically odd number. And then finally we closed our scanner. So let's run this on and also see what's the result and how it works. Here we go. Here my program is asking please enter a positive integer. So let me go and put 5 and enter, then the number is odd. It can automatically tell me if I put odd or even number. Let me try using even number. Let me put 8 and then the number is even. So it is successfully working. Here we go. Now we are going to the fourth code. Here this is just a printing something in a form of table. It is very simple. We don't use a lot of calculations, but it just looks as if we used a lot of calculation, but it is just something very simple. And let's go and see this together. Here we are going to print a table which contains a mile and also it is equivalent kilometer in the next row. So we can use a different character to print a line and a row. Here, as you can see, I use spaces to print a line, and then I used this to print a column or to separate a different column from each other. So as you can see, this just the same thing here. Here a class name, then a main method, then system.out.println, and then here I stored the mile in the row number in the first row as a 1, then I calculated the kilometer using the mile. So here is the conversion constant from mile to kilometer. So it will calculate for me the kilometer automatically. I just entered mile and then the kilometer will be calculated for each of them. I created 5 rows. So I used 1 mile, 5 mile, 10 mile, 20 mile and 50 miles. Then its equivalent kilometer will be calculated as shown here. Then here is the format I wanted it to be out. So after this calculation, they'll be just put in here in an order, and let's go and see the result. Here we go. As you can see here, sorry, let me widen this so that you can see all of them. As you can see, here we got a very nice, well put together table, just using a space and this slash. So here 1 mile is equivalent to 1.609 kilometer, and 5 is the same, and then so and so. This is my first problem. So let's go to the fifth one. Then the fifth one is calculating someone's body index and then telling the person if they are underweight, normal, overweight, or obese, depending on their weight and height. So As you can see, since we are going to take an input from the user such as height and weight, we imported scanner class. Then here is our class name, then main method, then here as you can see scanner object. These are the comments that we can use in our program, which is totally ignored by the computer while executing because we are putting this slash at the beginning. That means this is a comment, so please don't read it. That's just literally like that. So here, as you can see, we asked the user to put their height, and then we stored that height in a double format, in a double type. Then we asked their weight, and then we also stored their weight in a double. Then we can start calculating body mass index. So body mass index is equals to weight divided by height square. So as you can see, as I used earlier, I used here math.pow and height, then 2. Here every time we put the power in the next, we put the normal base here. So height square is written like this. Then we started our if-else. At the previous if-else code, as you noticed, I just used 2 different if, but here I'm using if-else, else. So in Java, the program, while executing, first it checks if this is satisfied, then if not, it will jump to the next else if statement. But if this become correct, then it will come inside and read what is here. So that's how it works. Here, if body mass index is less than 18.5, that means the person is underweight. We should print underweight to the screen. If else, the body mass is greater than or equal to 8.5 and body mass index is less than 25. That means between 18.5 to 25, that person is normal. If the body mass index is greater than 25 and body mass index is less than 30, that means the person is overweight. Else, that means above this. The system will print obese because above 30 it is obese. For else, we don't need to explain like above 30 or something. That means already we said else, that means if the following conditions are not satisfied, just print this, just come and read this. So our computer will directly understand if it is more than 30. So let's go and see how this works. Let's execute it. Here we go. It is asking for me my height. Let me say my height is 1.65 or 1.68 meter. My weight is, let's say, 50. Then that means I'm underweight. Now let's try using different height. For example, 1.5 and weight, let's say someone is 70 kilogram. Then that person is obese because like very short and then a lot of weight. So we can check for another normal and also like that. This is how it works. Hope you enjoyed.